Hi, I'm Hillary Kennedy, and this is the USU Soccer Show. It's May, and that means it's warming up and soccer season is in full swing. This month, we'll hear about a former USU soccer player who's making an impact on his diverse community in South Bronx. We'll bring into focus a club out of Atlanta with a unique story and hear about how Washington Youth Soccer is using soccer as a vessel for change. As always, we want to know what you want to see on the show. If you have a story idea, send an email to theshow@ususoccer.org or post it on our Facebook page. All right, let's kick things off by hearing from U.S. Women's National Team All-Star and gold medal winner Abby Wambach about her youth career and how she made herself stand above the rest.
Yeah, I think when you're a younger kid, you think of yourself, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I thought of myself as obviously one of the best players in Rochester where I grew up, and you'd go to the state level ODP tournaments and regional camps, and then you realize, man, you know, I'm one of many great players, not only in my region, but in the nation. And as you go up in the ranks, whether it be in the youth national teams or even just your regional team in your area, you've got to figure out your niche. You know, you've got to figure out how you can make your team better and kind of expose those skills to those coaches so that they see your strengths and they see that maybe their team would be better off with you on it than not. And those were the interesting parts about growing up, because you know you're kind of thinking in an adult way at a younger age, where you know, some other players maybe thinking, okay, how am I going to fit in here? I would never do that. You got to try to do things at a younger age to kind of sell yourself and to stick out of the crowd so that you can continue on in the development process. I think anytime you can bring a team together and win championships is always going to be my favorite experiences on the field. I think we have had so many fantastic teams, but the teams that have been able to win, they've had that it factor, the X factor, the thing you can't really put into words, that there's a general knowing that, you know what, no matter what, we're going to do as best as we possibly can. And, you know, there is a little bit of luck involved when it comes to like finals and penalty kicks and whatever it is, you know, you have to have that it factor, and those are the most special moments, you know, feeling like you can do anything with a group of people that have sacrificed and given everything for this one goal. I think that my process throughout my career, yeah, there is those time periods where you're a little bit nervous because you're not in a familiar environment, but I was one of those people that really tried to get to know people fast, and that made things easier. I was also one of those people that worked hard, especially when I got a little bit older past college, that, you know, I didn't know how much effort I can put out in the field. I would only be able to evaluate that specific day and be able to try to beat that the next time I went on the field. And I think that I'm definitely a more well-rounded person. I think back at those nervous times, and those times are character building. You know, you have to go through those times, whether you're going to play soccer or go into business or be a doctor. Like, you have to expose yourself to new experiences, otherwise you're not going to push your limits. And I think that that's what's so great about this team, is that every player here continually tries to push their limits, put themselves in an uncomfortable situation, whether it be personally or professionally, because it makes you a bigger person, makes you a better person, and it makes you, you know, understand more and why you want to fight for your country to win those gold medals and world championships.
Those who go the extra mile will always stand above the rest, and a nonprofit group out of South Bronx is doing just that. Let's hear more about South Bronx United.
South Bronx has 50% graduation rate.
Blue and white, green and red off.
49% of the kids are below the poverty line. Has the highest asthma rate.
Get up, leave the ball, leave the ball.
Of all these needs, the most important pieces that we do are really on education, immigration support, but the kids come because soccer. South Bronx United is a nonprofit youth development organization. We use soccer as a means to reach youth in the community. Soccer is my passion growing up. I started playing maybe when I was 9, which is really late compared to the kids that we're serving now. We have kids that start playing from the second they're born.
Same thing as before, 100 push-ups,
200 sit-ups, you can do it in sets. When we first started, it was just me, another teacher across the street, 2 friends, and 16 boys on a soccer team. And the initial idea was really just these kids need an outlet, they need somewhere to play, they need positive role models. And that's also where we started to realize we're serving a community with a really growing immigrant population. 95% of the kids are from immigrant families. Half of the kids themselves were born outside the country.
For a lot of the youth that are coming here, some of them are coming with one parent. Some of them are coming alone. At times there's youth who get trafficked here. When we find out that a student might have an issue around their legal status or they're trying to adjust from one legal status to another, then either myself or some of the pro bono volunteer attorneys we have will bring them in for a screening. And depending on what available options we see, then that's when we'll get in touch with some partner orgs.
Back to the days when Arsenal actually moved from south of the River Thames into Tottenham territory, and that's been handed down by the Tottenham fans from generation to generation.
I'm from Nigeria. I came here in 2008. It's the US, so I see different races and how everybody's getting along with each other. So I was like, okay. Then I see McDonald's, and I see Burger King. I was like, whoa. And I was eating them burgers, man. The court date is all about the judge hearing my story, and from there, I don't really know what's gonna happen. Cyberx United have helped me through the immigration process and my papers and everything, because it's been 4 years or 5 years now since I've been doing this. And one time, I reached the limit that, okay, let me just give up. Like, this is probably not the way for me to get my citizenship, but they keep on giving me energy for me to keep going. So I really appreciate what Cyberx wants to be doing for me.
Let's have White. Noru, I think, had the most goals, so your team is on first. 100% of our seniors have graduated high school, and that's in comparison to about 50% in the community, and over 90% go on to college. It just shows that I think a lot of the youth just need someone to really guide them through that process. They need a mentor, and then they need resources that can help them through that. And I think really anyone can make it there if they have those things.
Everyone knows that US Youth Soccer is the largest youth sports organization in the United States, and with over 5,000 registered clubs in the country, we thought we'd bring some noteworthy ones in focus.
My name is Troy Garner. I'm the Director of Coaching for Top Hat Soccer Club in Atlanta, Georgia. Our club was founded in the early 80s, I think 1982, by a guy named Cy Strickler. It's an all-girls club. He founded the club because he felt like the girls were not getting their due. Top Hat comes from Cy, the president and founder that I was just telling you about. He was a Navy pilot, and the name of his squadron was Top Hat, the Top Hatters. And that's where it comes from. He always, when the girls are in DC or whatever, or when he took the girls up to WAGs, he would take them to the Smithsonian, and up on some of the old aircraft, there's a top hat, and that's where it comes from. So the little emblem is what's on the actual airplane.
I really like that I'm on a really close team. My close has been together since as long as I can't even remember. We've been together probably since we were about U8, so we've been all really close, and we just all work really well together. And the teams around us, like the younger and older teams, we're all really close too, and we're all just like a big family.
It's a well-run organization where soccer people get to make soccer decisions. The community, we get a lot of support from the community. The girls are great. We got great facilities, and hopefully we're developing the type of players that other coaches think will help them. They have good ideas, they're technically savvy, they play sophisticated soccer, and hopefully not just we think that, but other outside ODP coaches, regional coaches, national coaches, they've seen that too. So basically what it means is we're doing our job developing players, and the players are doing their job working very hard to get to the top of you know, what they're trying to do.
One of our quote-unquote rivals are at this tournament. We're playing them this weekend. It was just always a really good game. That's YMS. We play them. When we play them, it's always a good game.
Well, I got into coaching. I played youth soccer and played for youth national teams. Went to a youth World Cup, you know, when I was 17 years old, and then I went on and I played at Duke and played a couple of years in the A-League and tore my ACL. And why I tore my ACL, I just started coaching to kind of keep myself involved in it. And I didn't think I would like it, but I ended up loving it. And so it's kind of snowballed from there. I've always had a passion for the game. I played it my whole life, and it's given me so much. You know, now I'm able to train and be around this great group of girls and teach them the game I love. You know, hopefully create and instill that love of the game that I have into them and let them go to wherever, you know, their talent takes them.
He's back! MLS superfan and star of the hit TV show 30 Rock, Judah Friedlander, has returned and is sharing some of the awesome stories of MLS history with our viewers. Let's sit back and enjoy a little MLS Storytime Theater.
Welcome to MLS Storytime Theater. I'm the world champion, Judah Friedlander. Today's story is called Amado Guevara versus the Towel. Football is the most dramatic sport. Every game is an opera of emotion and intrigue. Some players are remembered for greatness, others for drama, but our hero today truly had it all. Amado Guevara came from Honduras to the Metro Stars during the summer of 2003, and he had all the makings of a star: daring runs at the goal, natural leadership qualities, and a great nickname, El Lobo. Some of you may know that Lobo in Spanish means wolf, but in Honduran, it means Shatner. And Guevara once gave a performance that would have made TJ Hooker himself blush with envious rage. The San Jose Earthquakes were at Giant Stadium. Guevara went to take a throw-in right in front of the Quakes bench, and the curtain went up on one of the great dramatic performances in MLS history. Ramiro Corrales sets it off with an attempted wedgie. Then, and this is actually a legal move because Corrales uses the towel to try to knock the ball away, not his hand, Corrales goes to the towel snap, also known as the rat tail or the whiplash.
Somebody on the bench with the towel hit him in the midsection and he grabbed his eye. If that hit him in the eye, then that camera angle lied.
In all fairness to Guevara, you might feel he's faking it here, but, and it's not a well-known fact, his superficial skin of his torso is actually directly connected to the nerve center of his right eye socket. With a direct hit, it could be fatal. He actually played the rest of the game legally blind. Okay, none of that was true. This guy was obviously faking it. But look at the full body acting, the total commitment to the scene. I've worked with Oscar-winning actors like Robert De Niro, Jon Voight, Susan Sarandon, and I have never seen them commit to a scene anything like this. An ordinary thespian would have given up around now. But Guevara goes on and on, driven into a kind of thespian acting madness by his own virtuosity. Bravo! Amazing! When he splashes water on his eye, I've never seen commitment or use of a prop like that before. Thank God the referees, like the UN, were able to step in and administer justice. A moment to give some credit to Ramiro Corrales, who I personally feel should have been banned for life for this egregious foul, but is actually the last MLS original still in the league. He started with San Jose when they were called the Clash in 1996. Look at him hold on to the towel, defiant to the end. Imagine you're in a riot. A shot rings out, the cops come over, this guy's holding the gun and waving in the cop's face. He's like, yeah, I did it. What are you gonna do, cop? Give me a red card? Yep, the refs gives Corrales, the towel whipper, a red card.
And Corrales is justifiably out of there.
But what Guevara earned lasted even longer than a suspension. The respect of award-winning actors all around the planet. I'm the world champion, Judah Friedlander. Join me next time for MLS Storytime Theater.
Thanks again to the world champion. For more great stories, check out our YouTube page. And speaking of social media, we are blowing it up. We are always giving away free stuff, posting action shots and more. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram for great photos, and on Twitter for the latest news and more. Okay, it's time now for a break. When we return, we'll hear about a program out of Washington that's using soccer for success. We'll interview a pro player while playing foosball and catch up on a little World Cup trivia. All this and more when we return to the U.S. Youth Soccer Show. Hi, and welcome back to the U.S. Youth Soccer Show. Before we left, I told you that U.S. Youth Soccer's very own foosball champ would take on a pro while asking a few in-depth questions. Let's check out the first ever foosball with friends.
Herrera drives it in, and they score! The rookie, Walker Zimmerman!
He's an up-and-coming pro soccer player.
Once I start talking about GSA, everything's going right.
And a U.S. Youth Soccer alum. Walker Zimmerman may have been a first-round draft pick, but he has never faced me in foosball. We got together with the FC Dallas rookie for some hard-hitting soccer questions.
I'm a huge Bachelor fan, not a huge Juan Pablo fan.
And some friendly competition.
Come on, son. All right. Good luck.
Thank you. Have fun. So we'll start off with some just get to know you questions for the fans. You know, what do you do when you're not playing soccer, out having fun? You know, is there a TV show that you like to sit back and watch? You know, is it SportsCenter, The Bachelor? You know.
Oh yeah. I like Breaking Bad a whole lot. I like Mad Men. I like watching Netflix a good bit.
There's one.
Oh no. Yeah, I like to sit and relax and watch Netflix at the house.
So warm-ups, whether it's warming up, driving around, like what's your jam? What are you listening to in your car, in your iPod?
Yeah, you know, I like music, but I don't have like a huge library, if you will. So I do a lot of Pandora. I do a lot of Jesus Culture worship music. I do a lot of Ben Rector, really chill mood.
I like Ben Rector.
Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors a little bit.
Okay.
So I like country though. Country's probably it's probably my go-to. Oh my gosh, your goalie is like Oliver Kahn on steroids right now.
You played with GSA like your entire life.
I did.
Soccer all the way through college. Tell us a little bit about your experience with GSA and maybe how your coach helped you out.
Yeah, I played there since I was like 5 or 6 years old.
There you go, on the board.
Played there since I was 5 or 6, and it is pretty unique to stay at one place the whole time, but I loved it there. I was fortunate enough to be on some really good teams. Once I start talking about GSA, everything starts going right. I was fortunate enough to be on some really good teams, and a lot of appearances at the national championships, and just really a great group of guys who are some of my best friends who I got to play with, my whole career, which was awesome.
You say you like coaching. There's always kids that want to grow up and they want to be the next Walker Zimmerman, the next Land Donovan. What advice do you give these players to get to where you are that are in these earlier stages in their soccer careers?
It sounds cliche, but don't lose hope in something that you think you're destined to do. It's probably the main thing. If you think you're called to be a soccer player or basketball, whatever, teacher, just do it with all your heart, and you can't go wrong there.
Just going for it, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Walker. That is not the way to go out.
Oh, you hate to see that. You hate to see that, folks.
There it comes. There it is.
That was a double own goal.
This year is a World Cup year for the men's national team, and we wanted to know how much you actually know about it. So hang on to your hats for another World Cup trivia.
Brazil.
I'll say England.
Brazil.
Oh, so close. Uruguay.
All right, I'm gonna guess. Ooh, 92.
1990 something. I don't know.
1960. Yeah, 1960.
94. I was gonna go 6, but.
It was what, 94?
1994, I was 13 years old. I went to one game. Brazil, Sweden.
Shoot. Is it Qatar? No?
It's not in Qatar. It's,
Isn't it in Qatar?
Europe. Can't remember where.
I know a city, Qatar, but I think Qatar is Russia.
Soccer for Success is a free after-school program that uses soccer to promote healthy lifestyles in urban, underserved communities. Our friends at Washington Youth Soccer teamed up to provide these opportunities to over 600 kids in their area. So let's hear more about it.
Soccer for Success is an innovative sport-based youth development program founded by the U.S. Soccer Foundation. And we at Washington Youth Soccer operate the program locally.
The focus of the Soccer for Success program is 4 things. Number 1 would be fitness. Want to be moving the kids around. Number 2 would be the mentorship with the coaches. Number 3 would be the skills of soccer. And then number 4 would be the nutrition component.
How many types of dairy are you supposed to eat every day? 3. How many?
3. We work with low-income elementary schools in low-income communities where kids don't have access to organized sports. And we provide them with free after-school soccer and nutritional programming 3 days a week for 2 12-week seasons.
I love soccer because it's fun to play, like making goals and all that stuff.
I want these kids to just have fun and live their life to the fullest. And I think through this program, through playing soccer and learning about nutrition, they're able to do that. The stuff that they're learning is so transferable, and so that's ultimately what I would like to see, is to take these skills and apply it to whatever their endeavors are.
It's really important to provide these kids with positive role models and this positive activity, mainly because there's a lot of things they could get into outside of school, and I think allowing kids an after-school activity that gives them a snack, gives coaches that care about them, gives them some focused activity until 5 o'clock at night. That allows them to get that energy out, go home, maybe get something else to eat, work on their homework. It lessens the likelihood they'll make some poor choices, I guess, after school, for sure.
At the end of our season, we have family engagement events where we invite the families and we invite the community to come out to celebrate our players and their success. And one of the exciting things that happens at that event is our players get a chance to stand up and say, I'm proud of myself for doing this. And they also get a chance to stand up and say, I'm proud of my teammate for doing this. And we hear the most amazing things. The kids will say things like, I'm proud of myself for trying when I was scared. Or I'm proud of myself for scoring a goal when I didn't think I could. And we have parents will stand up at the event to, get a chance to mirror back to their kids what they see. And that is one of the best moments for me as the program director, is watching these kids be publicly praised for their improvement. Because a lot of the kids that we serve are kids who are struggling in school. They're struggling socially. And we intentionally work with kids who are failing in other systems because we want them to succeed, and we know that we can use soccer as a tool to engage them and get them to succeed.
It's a fantastic program. They're getting the nutrition information and they get to play soccer after school, and they love it, and they're getting good. They're really good. So I'm thankful for the coaches that are passionate to be out here, and I'm just thankful to be a part of it.
Well, that's our show for this month. Thanks again for watching. If you have a story you want to see on the show, send us an email at theshow@ususoccer.org. To watch this and previous shows, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/USUsoccer. I'm Hillary Kennedy, and until next time, get out and get in the game.